It's showtime, baby. Let's go. Woo!
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Iceman Jeff Turnipple. And as always, I bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of some of the best friends around. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Do me a favor, hit those likes and subscribe. Smash that thumbs up. I am live streaming on ZTV Online, YouTube, Facebook, X, Rumble. And if you're listening to on the podcast, check it out. It's on BeanPod, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure you rate, like, and review. And by the way, if you guys have not checked out Midwest Best Barbecue, why the hell not? Go out there this weekend, get you some CTB wings, get you some Uno wings, get some G-Funk, get some ribs. Well, actually, it's the third Saturday they have ribs. Make sure you try the ribs when they have them. It's third Saturday month they have ribs. They are delicious. Tim and Nicole do a great job, so shout out to ZTV. And as always, I'm coming to you live from this glorious place down here. It's the Ice Game, and the Ice Game is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And you know we hit the jackpot when we drafted Joe Burrow. We're going to the Super Bowl next year. We're going to win it. So make sure, because you know Joe Burrow is the only one that could beat Patrick Mahomes. Make sure you're geared up with the Jackpot Joey stuff, the hats, the hoodies, all that cool stuff, because you're not only telling everybody that we hit the jackpot and we got the jackpot and Jackpot Joey, you're also supporting his cause. And that's what this is all about, is to help people out. He wants to help feed people, so make sure you buy some stuff, and it goes, portion per person, go to the Joe Burrow Foundation. What is up to everybody in the chat? We got Stranger in there. What is going on? Brad's in there. Crypt Keeper. Yes, we're talking Reds. Kevin's in there, and Brad. He said, I think it's time to get Joey B. Brad, I completely agree with you. I think, for everybody on the podcast, Brad says, I think it's time to get Joey B on the show. I agree with him. So if anybody out there knows Joe, I mean, he knows who I am. I'm the Jackpot Joey guy, Strawberry Ice, you know. So I say, hey, you should go on a show sometime. You know, it'd be kind of cool. So, hey, Dart's in there. What is going on? All right, guys. We are talking baseball today. Reds pitchers and catchers have reported this week they are actually swinging the bat. Baseballs are hitting mitts. My question for you is, how far do you think, or how far can the Cincinnati Reds go this year? For me, it's wide open. We have a chance to win this division. I know people, for some reason, the quote-unquote experts have got the Cardinals, the Tweety Birds, as favorites. I don't know why. If our four pitchers, and I count them four, all stay healthy and our young players don't hit the sophomore slump, we are in this thing. And if we get to a good start, we can run away with it. And the good thing is, this team is almost David Bell proof, because he likes to mix and match and everything. And there's not really anybody, there's no Kevin Newmans that I know of right now that are on the roster where he could play him and lead him off all the time. Anyway, let's get to my man, the myth, the legend, the bald-headed brother from another mother, Joe Farfsing. What's up, Joe?
What's the word, Big Bird? How are you?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. How was your Valentine's Day with Mrs. Ice Woman Man Strawberry?
Mrs. Ice Woman Man. She's a woman. She's very pretty. It was great.
She's a very lovely woman. I'm just asking how your Valentine's Day.
She's very nice. She puts up with my ass. I'm like, she got to be a saint or something.
Sainthood.
Yeah, exactly. No.
Canonized.
No, it was good. We actually went out for lunch. We took our daughter with us because our daughter's boyfriend is in the Marines and he couldn't be there. So we took her out and then we came home and we watched a very classic movie for Valentine's Day. We watched Deadpool. It was awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
My son's asking about that. He hasn't seen it yet because it's we're not, none of us are into big comic or MCU movie fans or anything.
Oh, my
like
wife
that,
is
but-
big time into it. She never watched Deadpool before. And then they had the trailer come out and she's like,
Oh,
ooh.
for Deadpool 3.
Yeah, Deadpool 3. And it's like, I got the stuff from Loki, the Time Travelers or whatever. I can't remember what the name of them are. Is in it. She goes, how bad is Deadpool? I said, I actually really like Deadpool. She's like, well, let's watch it tonight. I'm like, all right, so maybe tonight we'll watch Deadpool 2. Anyway, let's get to the second guest of the show. He is huge on Facebook. He has been on here. He gave away Reds cards. He's giving away all kinds of stuff on his Instagram. If you guys aren't following Reds Daily on Instagram, make sure you check it out. Here's Mason. What's up, Mace?
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
What up?
What's going on, dude?
Hey.
Enjoying the show. I'm ready for spring training, man. I'm ready for this thing to freaking start. I'm itching. Like I hear the crack of the bat, the balls, the baseball's popping. I'm ready to go. So for you guys, I'm very optimistic. I'm always optimistic, and I'm hyped up. I think we're gonna win the whole damn thing. Realistically, though, where are you guys at for the season? What's the possibility of the Reds going to the playoffs, winning the division, all that cool stuff?
Yeah, I'll jump right in, man. I'm the biggest optimist there is. I feel like the nice thing about baseball is it's all about hope. Every year, it doesn't matter if your team is projected to go lose 100 games or whatever, 90 or whatever. Like last year, I mean, that hope always exists that you'll get a magical season like we did last year. Mm-hmm. Given what we already had with the players, assuming some players may take the next steps, we have the depth we were missing last year. And a lot of players that were injured are going to be hopefully available. And then I fully expect a couple of surprise players to come in who just, again, like 2023, are going to surprise us. And there's a lot of prospects that the Reds have, not only in AAA, like Blake Dunn, who's probably Major League ready, right. But a couple of younger guys who, who's going to be the Ellie, who's going to be the guy who, is starting in AA and is going to end up on the team by the end of the season. We'll have some of those because we have such a deep farm system now. To answer your question, though, dude, I think we're going to win it all, man. I'm calling it. We're winning the World Series, dude.
Woo!
Hey,
I'm talking about, baby.
People call it a jinx. I don't call it a jinx, man. I just call it confident.
It's called speaking it into existence.
That's right.
That's what it's called.
Right. We're manifesting it. And
yeah, exactly.
I believe in these guys, and I think they believe in themselves. It does hurt a little bit missing Joey. I think that's going to be probably the biggest change for them in the locker room. Right. But they didn't have him at the beginning of the season when they went on that the beginning of that 12-win run.
Yeah, he was afraid to come. We were all worried that he was going to come in and Joey's going to come in and mess up the chemistry. So I'm glad you brought that up. Everybody forgets about that.
Right. Yeah, and then he bopped a home run game 1. Right. It was nice. Yeah, but he's still not signed to a team yet, and injuries are something that always happen. Unfortunately, you never know.
You're saying there's a chance. There's still
a
chance.
There is a chance. I know Joey would be very interested.
Hell yeah. Joe, what do you got? What's your thoughts, prognostication, whatever you want to say on the Red season this year?
I think it's a pretty safe bet that they're going to be somewhere around mid-80s for their win total, because of their depth at both. Just around the lineup, and they've got 5 guys that can play pretty much every position, either on the roster right now or guys that are MLB ready, like Blake Dunn, Jacob Hurtubise. He's not too far away, and all of the infielders are backed up by capable infielders. So if something happens to McClain, God forbid, he gets hurt again, India can slot back in at second base. Ellie gets dinged up, move McClain over to short. Marte can play short. Third base, you've got Marte, you've got Ellie, you've got India can probably play there in a pinch. Steer, Candelaria, like guys can play everywhere. Yeah. Same thing in the rotation. They have a low-ish ceiling. I don't want to say low ceiling for their rotation, but they've got a really high floor because they got so many guys. There's legitimate 7 major league starters on their roster right now if you count Nick Martinez, if you count Brandon Williamson. He's probably going to be in Louisville.
Yeah.
And then you still have the young guys coming up. I don't know what Lyon Richardson is. I think he's a power arm for the bullpen, but Connor Phillips is an impact starter at some point in the next 18 months. Rhett Lauder is not going to be long.
No, he might be up by the end of the year. He might.
I don't think the Reds are going to need him.
No, but if he's down there dominating, I wouldn't put. I'm not saying they're not going to push him, but I wouldn't be surprised if he is. And one thing about Brandon Williamson, I think it's a good thing that he's in AAA.
Yeah,
just because
absolutely.
depth-wise, we got guys who've pitched. I mean, if you have a guy who pitched as many innings as he did, and he's in your AAA, shoot, that's awesome.
Yeah, and if they want to put him in the bullpen just kind of for a long guy, just they have a lefty just so he stays with the team. I mean, I don't know how much he's going to gain by facing AAA batters because he's proven that that he can get those guys out. But I mean, he's still another guy that the downside of this team is how many injuries they have in the rotation, and Frankie Montas isn't exactly known for his health.
Right.
And he threw how many innings did he throw last year? 11. 7?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Like anything under 12, and I can count on two hands. Wait a minute. But they had, they're not going to be pitching Brett Kennedy. God, who are all the scrubs that came up last year? Alec Mills did a.
There's too many. I can't remember them all. There's so many of them.
It's like there's obscure, there's the Twitter feed obscure former Reds and everything, and so many guys that pitched last year are already obscure Reds. And like they just pitched in September, and I already totally watched these guys from my memory. So, yeah, I think mid 80s is a good starting point. Guys make the jump like we hope they will. You can't expect everyone to make the jump. Someone out of Ellie, Marte, McLean, Steer, someone's going to flame it. Like, someone's going to be, in 2025, will not be a Major League starting player. Someone's going to be an all-star, and a couple guys are going to be contributors. So not everyone's going to take that step, but I think even without that, again, they're going to be in contention all year long. Cardinals, I would give the Cardinals.
No, you cussed. They're the Tweety Birds. You got to say their name right. The Tweety Birds. Don't cuss on my show here.
The whiny little bitches is Brandon.
There you go. I'll take that too.
Yeah, valid.
Their starting rotation, they don't have anybody younger than 32 in their starting rotation.
Right.
They have a lot higher floor because they've got. I mean, you still have Goldschmidt. You still have Nolan Arenado. Jordan Walker is a stud. I think Mason Wynn's going to be a decent player, but they've got so much age that they're near they're near their ceiling. Like there's not a lot of projection for them. So if some of the guys don't pan out or some of the pitchers get injured, I get why they're projected to finish higher than the Reds.
I don't see that
because
what you're just saying there. That's
safer. Yeah, but they still have good players. Paul Goldschmidt is still
they really didn't add.
Fourth best first baseman.
Who did they really add that's going to make a big impact from what they had last year? Like really? I mean, a big impact. I mean,
Sonny Gray.
I don't think he's gonna make that. I mean, he's good, but he's not gonna change their whole freaking. They sucked last year, so
yeah.
But
they're
I hate
also,
the Tweety Birds.
They had guys that just. I think they played so teams have down years, and I think them.
Yeah, but this is baseball. One guy ain't gonna change the whole team. I don't think.
But you move that guy to your number one. So who was your number one is now your number two. Yeah. Slots in. Again, I don't think they're gonna win the division. But I understand why they're projected to finish the retirement.
Right, I'll say this too. I know they're projected well, and some of their players, I know Walker, they all were given like very favorable looking FanGraph projections and things like that. And I'm someone, I mean, I'm a stat head. I subscribe to, a couple different sources that I like to look at, the advanced stats and things and the traditional ones. But I mean, I don't know if you guys looked at the FanGraphs for the Reds. The projections this year are just crazy. I mean, not one guy based on the stats looks like he's really having an all-star season, and I mean, look at the talent on this team. I don't know what's going on with FanGraphs, but it's funny. You talk to some of the players, Graham, I asked him, I'm like, hey, what's your favorite advanced statistic? I'm looking for like some cool, like 4-letter, percentage I've never heard of that, is like the key to his success. And he's like, man, I don't really even look at that stuff anymore. Like, he's like, I just try to throw hard and, get the movement I need and hit the pitches where I need to. And, that is that old school style of thinking. And, it's funny because when I've talked to some of the coaches on the Reds, they have a mix. I mean, it's not as bad as when Dusty was there. I mean, that dude basically, was about as not antiquated. I mean, obviously he just won a World Series. He's probably adapted. But at that time, there was a lot.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, Corey Patterson was still batting leadoff. The dude was – you guys remember that? Willie Tavares. Yeah, right. He's fast. Put him in that slot. So
yeah, but you got to be able to get on base. You can't steal first base.
Right. Yeah, step one, get on base.
Right. I mean, he's the guy that knocked Adam Dunn for clogging the bases because he took walks. Walks are good.
Right.
You want him swinging a crap like a pitcher.
Walks will haunt.
On the edge, like, Dusty evolved, and thank God he won a ring because he so deserved it. But he had to evolve or he wouldn't have gotten the job, especially with the Astros for crying out loud. They're as like cutting edge. I don't say cutting edge, but I mean as forward thinking of a franchise as there is. He would not have a job if he would have stuck to his shall we say old style ways.
Yeah, they were so far on the forefront. They went past the forefront into the illegal territory.
Yes, into the trash cans.
Right.
I get this question here from Joseph. He says, who's going to lead this rotation as a guy this season? Now, I'll put it out there because, well, I'm a little biased because he's been on my show. And Mason, you talked to him too. But I'm going to say, what about Graham? Because, I mean, honestly, Graham has been, for me, the most consistent pitcher we've had. I know last year he had his injury, and then he had his where he even said on the show he was tipping pitches. He's doing whatever with his glove and tipping pitches. But last year was really the only year he struck. I know he came up the year before that and dominated. But once he's on, dude, he's on, and he's the most consistent one that I think anyway. I mean, Lodolo is good, but he can't stay healthy. And I know I'm saying, well, Graham wasn't healthy last year, but Lodolo hasn't been healthy a lot of years. That's where I'm like, I put my money on Graham, to be honest, as far as the Bulldog, the guy to lead the charge. What do you guys got?
I think Hunter Green. I think when you look at a couple different indicators, I mean, he's been in the clubhouse a while. At this point, he's one of the veterans in the clubhouse. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He is seen as a leader. In fact, MLB used him as one of the primary, professional players to usher in a whole new this year's big group of rookies out somewhere. I think it might have been in Arizona. I think it was his house. He has a new house.
Oh, cool.
And it's very big. I mean, he just signed a very nice contract. So, and I think that's another indicator. That contract indicates a lot of confidence from the Reds. What was it, 6 years, I think?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's who the Reds want. That's who it should be.
Yeah.
But to me, Hunter's got to get consistent and get a. I think he's got to develop that changeup, man. That's the pitch that he's got to get somebody off his fastball, or he's got to have pinpoint accuracy. Because he threw it 105 miles an hour, but he threw it right down the middle. Major League Baseball players are going to hit it, and that's been his problem, I think. What do you guys got?
Yeah, honestly, I think Green is going to be the standard bearer in the rotation. He's worn that mantle since he was in high school and on cover Sports Illustrated when he was 17 years old. I think for Graham to become that guy, he needs to come up with a strikeout pitch. For someone who throws as hard as he does, he doesn't strike a lot of batters.
No.
His whiff rate and everything is way at the bottom of the barrel. He doesn't miss a ton of bats, and if he's missing his spots, that's when he gets killed. So obviously that happens to everybody, but he throws 97. You can't miss your spot at 97, 98, and Green can get away with it because he can throw 4 or 5 miles an hour faster, but even he doesn't get away with it. So, I honestly think if Green can throw 30 starts on the board this year, he's going to have an ERA upper threes. Whatever ERA isn't the best indicator. I mean, xFIP and FIP and things like that are a little better, but I honestly think he's the guy that has the ceiling of. I don't even know if true ace is the actual ceiling anymore, but as the top of the rotation guy. Graham can be a solid middle of the rotation guy. Nick Lodolo, I just want to see him make 20, 25 starts.
Yeah.
I think he's got all the talent in the world, but that talent needs to be on the bum, not in the training room. And nothing against him. It's not as if, same thing with Nick Senzel. Not like these guys were trying to get injured, but your best ability is availability.
Yeah.
So, Montas is a wild card. I think Montas if you're looking at baseball cards, he's the best bet. But you also look at a gigantic gaping zero, a handful of innings.
Big
So,
gaping hole. Yes.
speaking of big gaping holes, Jeff, shut up. No, I'm just kidding.
What?
I think also Abbott. I mean, who was the number one Reds pitcher last year overall, according
Yeah, that's
to
easy. Let's get rid of him.
at least. Oh man, commissioner.
Oh, great. His pitcher's frozen down, flipping me off. Well, what the heck? You got to come back, Joe. I didn't actually kick you off the show. Oh, he's frozen. Anyway, go ahead, Mason.
He wanted to make a statement with that frozen picture, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it landed. But yeah, I think Abbott. I mean, according to WAR, at least he led the team in WAR as a pitcher. I think he had 3.2, if I'm not mistaken. And they limited him towards the end of the season too. So, I think Abbott is someone that if he takes that next step, I mean, he really could possibly be a top of the rotation guy. He's got all the talent. He's got that passion, it seems too. So, I think he's someone to look out for, and he's pretty funny too. So I think he's got a good personality. So that's always nice.
Yeah, Abbott. Well, the thing is, he was so consistent last year.
Right.
As far even with he didn't have his Joe. Joe, you can't. I don't know. Joe's trying to connect again. And it's not. He's having internet issues. Abbott was very consistent. That surprised the hell out of me for being a rookie starter last year, and for pitching as many innings as he did. I mean, he was just dog tired, dude.
And it was out of the gate too, man. If you remember, he was setting records. Like Abbott, when he first came in, it was like start after start after start.
Right.
He kept. I mean, consistent at a high level.
Right.
So that's something. I mean, I really think that he's someone who's not getting enough attention. So he's someone to look out for sure. And if he has
my concern with him would be as many innings as he pitched last year. Mm-hmm. How's he going to come back this year? Because just are they? Because they didn't really. Because Crawley said they're not going to shut him down, which they didn't. Let him keep pitching. Does that affect him this year? Which I mean, it shouldn't. But that is something to keep your eye on, just because he's never pitched that many innings before.
Yeah, I think there's a standard in MLB that they look for, to stair step innings, especially if it's their first or second year. So, and I have some confidence in the Reds. So I think that they'll figure it out. But the question is, to your point, towards the stretch, towards the end of the season,
right?
If Abbott is, he's got 30 starts, and we're pushing for the playoffs. And maybe he's starting to taper off a little bit. What do they do? That's a good question, and that's an answer I don't have.
Right.
But if last year was an indicator, like you said, I know they were talking about it a lot. But if they didn't really pull back, then I highly doubt they would do it.
Yeah,
this season.
I don't think it's just more of, I guess. I don't even say this, but hurting himself or injuries. That's the concern of how much strain he put on himself last year. But he was, dude. I don't remember seeing a rookie come up in the middle of the season. I mean, I said this so many times last year with all these guys. Rookies come up in the middle of the season and do as good as they did, and that goes kind of what Joe was saying is that is the concern that will these guys do what they did last year? Will they go backwards? Or hopefully elevate. That's what we all want them to do, is elevate and keep going. Yeah. The odds are that somebody's, like you said, somebody's going to fall back. Hopefully, none of them do. And like, I don't know, being the optimistic guy I am, I don't see it. I mean, because these guys did it all year last year. I mean, we got to stay healthy. And Marte, look, I love Matty Bats, and I love Ellie. Marte is the one who I think is going to be a monster this year. I think he's still on a 16-game hitting streak. His power was starting to come around at the end of last year. If he just, well, he's still recovering from the hamstring he pulled in the Dominican, but if he can just continue what he did last year and just the consistency, him and Matt McLean and Steer were so consistent last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember a big slump for any of those guys, not really a long slump or anything. If those guys can do that and improve upon that, and take the next step, those guys alone are gonna make us even better.
100%. And hey, welcome back, Joe. A different gesture this time, huh?
Different finger.
Yeah.
Freaking internet. That happens. Like,
Yeah, that's weird.
One more thing there, Iceman. I think another player that is so overlooked. I mean, we had all these rookies, all these young guys. TJ Friel. He led the team in WAR. Yep. I'm so interested to see what happens with this guy next season. Does he take another step? And even if he doesn't, I mean, hell, if he has another season just like that, that was a really good season.
Exactly, and I want him. I don't want David Bell to take him out of the leadoff spot. I want to lead him off. Like if India's in there, let India hit second, which is another thing that we can bring that up with India signing this 2-year contract. And I kind of tweeted this on Twitter when it came out. Does this make him more trade value? And a lot of people are like, no. I'm like, I still think it does because he's not arbitration. He's signed for 2 more years. If he can come back and he can prove that he's healthy and he can hit, and if the dude proves he can somewhat play other positions, that's a piece right there that the Reds could, a pretty big piece that the Reds could use in trade value down the stretch. I mean, that's just my thoughts. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's cost certainty with him being extended. Real quick thoughts on Freedom. I don't know what all I missed because I was frozen flipping you off. But
it was a perfect picture of you. I think I would have that one framed on. Hang up on the wall back here.
That'll be the new picture you put on the bump.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm for it, man. I have no problem.
Hey, Joey Carr, if you're watching, make that his new intro. I want that one.
I wholeheartedly endorse this.
All right, now you got for Mason.
Yeah, that could be mine.
Everybody just flip me off as they're coming on. Go ahead, Joe.
Real quick about Friedel is I'm a little worried because this I think last year was 95th percentile for TJ Friedel. That's as good of a season as you're gonna get. You look at things like exit velocity, and a lot of it's brought down because I don't know if bunts can't be taken into account for exit velocity.
I love
that would explain, but
I love that part of his game last year. I missed that in baseball, the bunt hit. I'm old, but
he can use it as
effective.
A weapon. Like that's I have no problem with him using it, but he hit a fair amount of home runs. I mean, hell, he almost won 2020 for home runs and stolen bases, but
right.
I think a 50 percentile TJ Friedel is someone who's probably hitting 260, and like his on base percentage was great. 340 I think last year, somewhere in that range. Like that's perfectly fine as a leadoff hitter, but I think he's going to come back to earth a little bit, and I'm still okay with him being top of the lineup because if he's still taking walks and getting on base, he's still a threat to steal bases. Not that you need that big base stealer at leadoff hitter. I mean, we've learned that that's not what's important. You need someone that just gets on base for the guy that gets hits and gets on base. But I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens. I'd like to have him like kind of maybe up that exit velo just so we can see the power that he showed last year was real,
right,
and not a facade. But
I'm sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say one interesting thing too. I just looked at his BABIP, his batting average on balls in play, which is what I've always used or looked at for like luck. How lucky has a guy been? Yeah. And if you guys have some other ones, I like I said, I love to learn new stats. I'm
old. I still do ERA and batting average.
Wins.
WAR. I don't. Yeah. Me and numbers don't get along. I was good with ERA and batting average and. I don't. Anyway, go ahead.
Ice is like he won 20 wins. He's got the Cy Young.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like I don't do numbers very well.
Yeah. Well, okay. So real quick. So batting average on balls in play. Are you familiar with that one, Jeff?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So he was at 308 last year. League average is 300. So that's really not too far off. But I think your point about his exit velo is a really good one. And if there's anybody he could be around to learn a little bit from, he's got a couple guys on the team. So.
Absolutely.
His expected slugging is in the second percentile. So again, it's because he doesn't hit the ball hard. And I think if he played a lot more of his games in a real ballpark and not the Little League park that Great American is, I'm still annoyed. I mean, the stadium is now going into its 22nd season, and I'm still annoyed at the stupid dimensions that they built that damn stadium.
Well, what was the velo of the home run that Graham said he gave up here? Like
87, I think.
87 miles an hour. I'm like, dude, that's a freaking wall scraper. He's just one of those where you sit there going, I ain't going out.
Well, I mean, they showed for whatever reason. I don't know if it was Codify or Baseball Savant on their socials last week had a big thing on Jamie Moyer, and Jamie Moyer is one of my favorite pitchers of all time because the guy was a crazy soft tossing lefty, which I know a thing or two about, as Jeff can.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I got a video of it and everything. It was horrible.
But he gave up the home run to Todd Frazier, where Frazier literally threw his bat at the ball.
Yeah.
The time the ball made contact, the bat was not in his hands, and he
Yep.
still hit the ball.
I remember that
now,
one.
Granted, he hit it like 5 or 6 rows deep, so it didn't scrape the wall, but it's still like in.
It's still, his
28
hand wasn't on the bat.
Yeah,
Like,
28
that's
ballparks.
ridiculous.
That's a fly out to the left fielder. Give me Coors Field. Like, give me the dimensions of Coors Field without the altitude. I love having the huge gaps. You're gonna get more doubles, more triples. Ellie would have like 5 inside the park home runs with
That's a good point.
Um,
So you like Petco probably too?
Oh, God.
yeah, I used to like the smaller parks. Hey, give me the home runs. But now I'm like, what?
Petco's
Like,
too. They shortened it, and it's still too big.
Yeah, now.
I mean, I wish GABP was a little bigger, but Petco is freaking. That's Yellowstone, dude. That thing's ginormous.
Yeah, it's San Francisco or what Oracle.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
it changed so many names.
Yeah, they changed so many names. I don't remember.
It's a gorgeous park.
Beautiful.
Now that's a place where the ball absolutely dies. Again, it's fun seeing, like, I like having the big outfield, not because I want to see fly balls turn into outs, but I like seeing the athletic plays. I like seeing the outfielder run deep into the gap.
Right.
I like triples. It's just a hell of a lot more exciting. And the older I
It is
get, the more
exciting.
I like that. And yeah, home runs are awesome, but if you're not going to hit the ball over the fence, I want to see you, bust your ass, all the way around the bases.
100%.
Now, let's circle back to the Jonathan India contract here. We talked about it a little bit here, and Jordan here wants to know, how do you guys feel about the contract? I like it. I mean, anytime you can avoid arbitration with any of your players, I think it's a good thing. And like I said, I think it makes him more tradable. So what do you guys think on the contract? You happy with it? What do you got? Go ahead,
Yeah.
Jason.
Yeah, I think that I agree with you. It does certainly make it more tradable. I mean, like Joe was saying, at the end of the day, let's say they trade him in mid-season, okay, and he crushes it. He absolutely annihilates it for this new team. They don't have to pay him anything more. So the upside, potential for them in that trade is higher than if they were like, well, shit, he did really well. Now we really got to pay him, Right. So, yeah, you're right. It does add some certainty for them. So, but if we keep him, I think he's good in the clubhouse. The big thing for me is he willing to, be more adjustable with the positions? And it just came out. Carl was saying we don't plan on trading you. That's all hearsay, whatever. But he is going to be moving around a little bit. And if he's fine with that, amazing. Let's go,
Yeah, but me and Joe talk about this a lot. Like, he scares me to move him other places. Like, I'm okay, like, second base and first base, but him in the outfield, that just, like, our outfield defense, if you have CES out in right field, which is what they're talking about doing, or I should say Steer out in right field, CES out in left, TJ Friedel has got to run his ass off because we're going to have two infielders playing outfield. Now, I know we got Wood B and we got Rake Fraley. But they're not going to play all the time. So it's that the outfield defense is a concern for me because of how many of the potential of infielders playing out there. Now, Steer, I think, me and my son have gotten discussions about this because he's big on the analytics and everything too. And I'm like, I think Steer plays a pretty good left field. Not a Gold Glove left field or anything like that. And my son Chandler was like, oh, you got to look at I don't remember what stat he quoted me, but his stats for balls he should have got to or whatever is horrible. I'm like, yeah, but he's an infielder. So, I mean, that's where I'm like, for me as an old baseball guy, I'm like, he's not going to get to those anyway. That's the reason he's not an outfielder. Yeah. So that's the thing is I'm worried about is our defense in the outfield. How many hits are we going to give up with infielder in left and right field? Not every night. I mean, will it be bad and Rake Fraley are going to play? But there's nights when we have the two infielders in the outfield. How many hits are we going to give up then? How many hits are we giving up, and how many hits or home runs are we getting back because we have those guys in the lineup?
Well, Fraley's not a good defensive outfielder. Put that out there right there. I like the guy, but numbers are not friendly to him.
Yeah.
You also have to remember, how many years did we have Adam Dunn and Ken Griffey Jr. in the outfield? Neither of those guys could move.
Right.
Willie Mo Pena.
Willie Mo Pena.
Willie Mo.
Yeah,
Willie
exactly.
Mo!
Reds have historically been a franchise that doesn't really care too much about outfield defense, which in Great American Ballpark isn't that big of a deal. I really want to see an actual layout of like, in terms of square footage of the outfields I've been looking for that for years. Like, what field has the most and least square footage? Oakland has a huge their outfield is huge. plus they have gigantic foul territory. But,
You want total area? You want to see like each stadium like laid on top of each other?
Actual like this. There's 3,500 square feet in the outfield. That'll just be interesting to see because everyone talks about like this field is big. This field plays big. Well, it's just kind of curious, but that has nothing to do with anything.
I can make that for you. I'll look it up.
I've been looking, man.
I will.
Ask Mason, and he shall provide.
I'll make it. I'll make exactly that. You want a list? Is that what you want?
Just curious, yeah. Just to see like
just a graphic where they just go put the field on top of each other.
Yeah.
Okay. This field has 10,000 square feet of of outfield or
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But back to the point about India. I'm actually the contract seems kind of low for him. He didn't really bet on himself.
Yeah.
I get like in arbitration, it was either going to be the 3.2 or the $4 million. He signed for 4 this year, 5 or 3.8 and 5 for next year. If he has a decent season, $5 million in arbitration seems almost like a given for next year. Maybe him going in thinking or knowing that he's going to be
He's not gonna play every day. Yeah.
He's not a bench player, but
no.
He's he's not the primary at any specific position. I don't know where he's gonna play. His bat hasn't been good enough to carry him at first base or at DH. He's still gonna get at bats there. His bat hasn't been enough to carry him. Again, like he's had 2 injury-prone years, last 2 years. But even in 2021, his bat really wasn't good enough to carry a corner outfield spot. It was really good as a second baseman. So I'm curious to see what they're gonna do. And all the talk about the Reds being like old school or kind of dumb with some of the things that they say, but they have actually one of the bigger analytical departments in all of baseball, which surprised the hell out of me when I found that out.
I wonder if Brody had, effect on that. Yeah. I'm sure he did. Which by the way, I always thought that was such an interesting situation. What happened with him when the news broke? Was that 2 years ago now? That he was leaving the team. I was like, oh, here we go again. Like the Reds aren't paying attention to what they need to. And I talked to some of the guys, with the team, and they're like, actually, we tried to keep him, and he wanted more control, and he wanted to put, his fingers in more things. And at a certain point, you have to like, all right, dog, like, some of these guys know a couple things,
Right. So Mason, are we?
I'd say real quick, there's a couple things in the comment about my volume level in here. Let me know if this is better. I turned the volume up a little bit. I know you guys can't hear, so
I can hear you. That's really loud.
Oh, yeah. I can't.
Yeah, that's actually good.
Okay.
I think that sounds good right there.
Something got turned down.
So Mason, are we actually live streaming on Reds Daily right now on Instagram? Do you know if we are actually on there?
I don't believe so.
No, it didn't work. Okay.
I didn't even try. Let me try it really quick.
Yeah.
I think it might.
Oh, maybe. Because if it is, cool. Like, what's up, dude?
Well, it's going to go to Fox Sports Ohio.
So
let's see if that's. I'll go take a look on that.
All right. They all said it's much better, Joe. All right. You guys are blowing the chat up here. I love it when this happens here. Let's see. I'm gonna find some good ones here. Joe, I can't hear you. Turn it up, Joe. All right, here you go. Jordan, do you think we fixed our pitching problem? Joe's quick to say no. To me, it depends on. I can't sit there and say yeah, because I wanted me and Joe on here on the offseason. I wanted a number one guy. I would have liked to have gotten a veteran. I would have gotten Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray would have been cool to get. It's better than what it was last year. If it's fixed, I don't know. For me, I got to see what happens. It's hard for me to say yes, they fixed it, but they did address a lot of the problems, just not the way we all wanted them to. I guess is a kind of a roundabout way to say it.
Yeah, I guess I'll hedge my head. My shaking my head. The pitching's better. Like they raised the floor incredibly.
Right.
But just by bringing in a couple guys that they did. I mean, Montas is going to be a better starter, we can assume, than the guy. So long as he's able to be out there. There's actual depth for when someone goes out because someone's going to miss starts. Even if Lodolo goes out and pitches 30 starts, he's still going to miss a start here or there for something
amazing.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Hunter's going to miss a start here or there, and they're not having to bring in some scrub to just to fill in innings, or they did starter a couple times last year, the opener a couple times last year, which is fine. It's worked for the Tampa Bay Rays, but the Tampa Bay Rays are a unicorn. I wish teams would stop trying to say they're trying to operate like the Rays. Also, Rays have yet to win a title, so
Yeah.
quit trying to say that you're going to be the Rays because they've got an empty
the
trophy case.
I think the Rays' problem is I don't think they've ever, like, when the Astros were building theirs up, they went out and got Verlander. Then they went out and got, they got that big starting pitcher. The Rays have never done that. That, to me, that's the reason the Rays haven't won. And that's what I want the Reds to do. If we're in this thing and we can go get a top quality starter that's to come in here and been there, done that, and lead this staff and everything through the World Series, sign me up for that. That's the problem. I think the Rays, because they somebody they've made a trade for that's been a big impact because they got a lot of young talent, and I want to be like that, but I want to be able to add things, and that's where I think it's good that I won't say it's good because I wish I had the guy now. It's okay that we didn't add that guy now, but if you add him down the stretch, it could cost you more. That's the scary part. That's just my thoughts on that. I don't know. Go ahead, Mason. What do you got?
I'm trying to get that set up really quick. But you're talking about, do I think that we need to add like a key component to
did we do enough? Basically, did we do enough in the offseason to fix the pitching problem was the original question.
Yeah, I think absolutely. I mean, what we don't know again is what the health is going to be of these guys. I mean, we have the talent and the experience that we need right now on the roster. What we don't know is if they're going to play. I mean, if they can't stay on the field, we have depth now. So, I mean, at that point, in my opinion, if we got guys that go out and they get hurt, and then the depth comes in and they can't perform, then we've got a bigger issue. There's a systemic issue or something. But do I think we should go get a guy? I'm not, honestly. I used to be in that mindset, but maybe if you can get a good deal on something, there's like a sell. People are just selling. Mm-hmm. But I really am not for selling the whole farm. I think that a really interesting stat I saw at one point in time was that the career performance of a player that was traded while they were in the minor leagues, it was a much bigger drop from players who had not been. And I thought that was so interesting. And I don't think it's because the players were like, they moved cities and it had an effect on them. I think it has more to do with the team had some insights and we're like, we don't really technically mind if this top prospect was to move, because they have an idea maybe that it was overvalued on the player side. So if we do trade somebody, I guess fear not, hopefully that would be the case. The Reds have some sort of indicator that the players they're trading aren't, going to pan out, which Joe said earlier. And, it's probably not going to be one or two. Most prospects don't pan out. I mean, you look back
That's
at
what was
Reds,
so cool about last year, Mason, is they all freaking hit.
Yeah, and there was some magic going on last year that hopefully that keeps going. But I mean, for the team to be successful, any successful team has a couple guys have career years. When you look back at it and you look at their career versus the season where they outperformed a lot of their averages. Typically, these guys are having career years, and even you look back at like 2010. I think that was, what was that for Votto? He had an MVP campaign. I think Bruce had a good year. Yep. Brandon Phillips, he was still performing well. So, you need a couple things. You need the prospects, or at this point, the younger guys to continue to be consistent. But you need some guys to really hit that next, that next gear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's what's going to. Well, I'll put it this way. If I'm a huge Ellie fan, if Ellie can get consistent, that dude can carry this team. That's to me. Out of everybody we've talked about here, if Ellie can be consistent, that's scary to the rest of Major Baseball. Ellie De La Cruz, if he's consistent, can be the best player in baseball. He's got all the tools you need. He's not lacking in one thing. That's to me is the biggest thing. Is if he can get consistent, then it's not as big of a deal for everybody else. But the thing is, like I said, I think Matt McClain, I think Steer, and I think Marte, I think they're going to be, I don't know why. I think those three are going to be consistent all year long. Yeah. And will they jump up to the next level is the question.
I got a question for you guys. we've got a couple different people that I've seen talk about this. The jersey scandal going on. Have you guys heard about that? What's going on with that?
They look like ass. They just look
Oh yeah,
terrible.
wait. What's the difference with them? I mean, Austin Elmore tweeted that out. I didn't see a difference. What am I missing?
Yeah. So here's the quick rundown on this. Basically, Fanatics is the manufacturer licensed by Nike, who is the official supplier for the uniforms for Major League Baseball. The uniforms this year are made of a different material. It's supposed to be lighter. It's supposed to be like a little bit more flexible, a little bit better for the players. I'm sure it's all better for the players was the point of all this, right? Mm-hmm. And not really profit driven, but what's interesting is everybody right away just started tearing into Fanatics. And me too. I was like, man, fuck Fanatics. Like those jerseys suck. Like the hats suck. I hate that like Chinese material that they always have. Right. And, of course, and basically what I found, if you go on UniWatch, which is an awesome website, he's always on top of it.
And been going there for years.
Love UniWatch, man. Yeah. And he was like, hey, I'm going to provide the facts here. And he was like, Nike authorized all of these changes, and all of these changes are actually executed by Fanatics per Nike. So where's the aggression towards Nike,
Right.
And I was like, wow, that's a really great point. But when you look at it, some players, I think it's overblown. I mean, look, it's like slow right now. It's spring training's just starting. Yeah. So we're looking for stories. But they definitely look different. I don't think they look as good, but who likes change really, I think the players you have some complaining. I think just a handful, but that's being amplified probably.
Well, we can definitely ask Buck Farmer when he's on the show with us tomorrow. We see if he likes.
They have contacted the MLBPA, so it's something that they're actually actively trying to get the Players Association involved.
So like the lettering is
well. First off, do you know at the top of the jerseys in the back was the MLB logo?
Yeah.
And then there was the seam that went around like the yoke of the collar. Right. They put the MLB logo below, which necessitates using a smaller font for the lettering. So it's a smaller, cheaper looking font. It's more arched. It just looks awful.
Looks like trash.
Yeah, it looks like a Jersey or some cheap knockoff you bought off of Temu or something like that, or Wish.com. It looks bad. Like the logos look cheap. Like I've seen pictures of it zoomed in on the actual embroidered logos, and it just looks. It looks cheap. It looks like something a little league team tried to have someone replicate the LA Dodgers jersey. The breaks in the names, like where the name goes across over the that just looks all wonky, and it's just.
I had to study this work. I just saw one picture, and I'm like, I didn't see.
It's bad. If you want to take a look, go on the new picture they got. Who's from Cincinnati? Brent Studer. Yeah, go on his Twitter. He just posted. I still got to pinch myself. I can't believe this is real, which is so cool to see. You love a Cincinnati guy on the team. Yeah. But it's a couple pictures of his jersey in his locker. So and then also I think Fraley or one of the journalists posted Fraley's locker. But yeah, dude, I think they look terrible. I mean, so what the hell? I mean, it wasn't broken. Why are they? You know what I mean?
Dude, why think people change stuff when it doesn't need to be changed? I have no idea.
I like the jersey you're wearing, Jeff. That's my favorite Reds jersey there. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, do you like it better with the red or the black undershirt?
I like it with the red.
I'm feeling the black. I'm feeling the black right now. Maybe it's probably definitely nostalgia. That's when I was younger,
Well, I hate it. Like when it first came out, I didn't like the black with the home, with the home jersey. I like the red, but now looking at it, I think I do like the black aesthetic, especially because it's got the red shadow inside this the wishbone C.
Yeah.
Right. That being said, I'm ready for them to get rid of the black drop shadow.
Yeah.
And go back to a more just clean uniform. If you're going to use an accent color, navy blue. Go look at some of the beautiful, gorgeous jerseys they had in the 30s, 40s that had road jerseys that had the blue cap, or the home jerseys that had the blue bill, and those just looked gorgeous. I would absolutely love to bring those.
I'd be against that because we ain't blue. We're the Reds, and to me, I'll put it this way:
they're the red stockings, they're the red legs. So just keep red socks, and you're fine.
All right, so you guys remember the Phillies uniform where they had that the top of the hat has that blue whatever thing on the top of your hat. It's blue.
Squatchy.
I think that looks stupid, but I love the '80s Phillies uniforms when they were blue and stuff. Yeah, or the St. Louis Cardinals baby blue. That
Half
looks
of the
good.
teams
Powder blue.
went. Yeah, half the teams went powder blue. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
So that
Braves
that
had them,
looked good.
Cubs had them, Phillies,
Expos.
Kansas City,
Expos,
Expos, Tampa wasn't around. Toronto,
Tampa, no, they
Um,
went around.
Toronto had them. Christ, who else had them? I think no, the Mets never did. Who else? Seattle had them.
So do you guys
Yeah,
do you guys like the City Connect uniforms? I think they're
Oh,
badass.
yeah.
I love
Love
those.
Love them.
Love them.
Now, see,
I've
I
got my Votto jersey, which is now unfortunately a retro jersey. So it hurts my soul. It hurts my soul.
Yeah.
well, like Graham said on here, he's glad that they only wear them on Friday nights because that would suck to wear that during the day, that all black uniform. Holy smokes!
Yeah.
I would not want to wear that whatsoever. But I do like those.
They need to shrink the C on the
Make it a
hat.
little
They need to
smaller?
shrink that a little bit. It's really big. But outside of that, I love the design. I like the black on black like infill of the embroidery on the lettering. I just think it looks so cool. And so for a team that prides itself on tradition and prides itself on looking backwards, the fact that they allowed them to go so forward thinking, I think was just the awesome aspect of the entirety of it.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll see what the Yankees do because there's only two teams that haven't announced.
I don't think they're gonna do a City Connect, man. Dodgers are doing another City Connect. Like their City Connects were so awful this year, they're gonna have another new City Connect.
Yeah. So I think the Yankees will do it. The Athletics are the only other team that haven't done it, and that's because they've got bigger problems. Where are they going to play in the next 2 years?
They're going to Vegas.
Las Vegas's mayor said they probably should stay where they are.
Yeah.
They did?
Yeah, she
That's
came
bad.
out because their plan and the the actual plans are so just shitty. They have no idea like what's going on in terms of like where they're going to play for the next couple of years.
I
And she said it would.
push.
It's
they don't have they haven't even started the stadium or construction or anything in Vegas yet.
No, it's not supposed to be done until 2028.
Yeah, and they have nowhere to play. Like the A's contract or their lease runs out after this season. They don't know where they're playing in 2025. It could be Oakland. It could be Sacramento. They could be sharing Oracle Park. They could go to Salt Lake. I mean, who knows?
It's
the Portland A's.
Yeah.
Real quick, so Joe, I do think the Yankees will do it, and I think this because that's the number one sports brand in the entire world. I mean, you go overseas, you see that Yankees hat, and the opportunity to do something is just too big. Now they got to do it right, you know. Yeah. I don't know if they can go as bold as the Reds, you know. But they got to. I think they're going to do something. I think they're going to make a fortune off of that merchandise. So we'll see. But I'm sorry.
I think for the City Connects, they should just throw on beards. Just say we're going forward. You guys can have facial hair only on Friday night games. Has to come off the next day. No sideburns.
You better have a chia pet on your face.
Exactly.
Yeah. The jersey though that I like a lot that I really hope they go back to is the 1969 home jersey.
Yeah.
I think that's it's not too far from really where they're at today. It drops the red. Up. It's cleaned up. They've got the Reds logo, and it's flat. It's nice. And I really wouldn't mind. I posted this on Instagram too. I wouldn't mind the 67 either. It's pinstripe, but it's the same thing. It's very simple, and I think we're ready for that. So.
Yeah, I would be cool with either the 67, 68 jersey or the 69, 71. Again, it fits in the very modern aesthetic where teams are going back to their more traditional. I hate the pullover and the Sansa belt pants with the thread. Everyone loves those. I just think they look so cheap.
I like them, but I wanted them always to do. That's the uniform I grew up with. They had it from the 70s all the way till 93.
93,
yeah. So I always wanted them to do was have that jersey, but make it a button down. That's what
and that's what the 68 to 71 jersey is.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. I mean, the wishbone C is a little different, but outside of that, it's the exact same thing. Like without the stripe, the striping that goes around or the piping that goes around the sleeves and so.
Are you guys happy? I mean, I was happy when they came out with this new uniform combination. I like to have it first, like the black and the red bill. I liked it at first, but it kind of got I kind of got to the point where I actually have that hat because that's what I bought. I got tired of that one. I like it that they went back to the all solid red hat and then the black bill because to me the solid red hat, that's the Reds. That's the one they've always had. And to me, the Yankees have always had the same hat. There's teams that should always at least have a version of the same thing. You know, that's just for me. And so I don't know about you guys, but did you like it that because when they changed everything in '99, they got rid of facial hair, you freaking the new uniforms, they brought black in and everything. I was like, oh, this is cool, but it kind of weird on me. Now these uniforms they have, I like them. Now the new ones we're talking about, the new. I have to look at the numbers and all that stuff, but the ones they were wearing last year, those to me are really clean, especially the home ones. I love the home ones where they're just nice and clean. There's not a lot of like this has a lot of stuff like the stripes and the different colors. I mean, to me, it's just too much stuff. That's kind of like I like the Bengals uniforms they have now. They're nice and clean. There's not a lot of just stuff everywhere. Just throwing stuff on it for you to see. It looks more uniform and more slick.
I would be fine. Like even if they keep the piping that goes around the jerseys, I hate the font. It is a really hard to read font. The numbers are hard to read. If you're at the stadium, and it's one thing if I'm watching it on 65-inch 4K TV in my living room,
right,
I can see the numbers nice and clear. My blind ass, whether I've got my glasses or contacts on or not, I can't see if that's a 6, an 8, a 9, a 0. It's hard to tell. The lettering is kind of goofy as shit. Go back to a more traditional font, and I'd be cool with it.
I think this was funny.
I think they need a refresh now. I mean, it's been when they go to this 2007.
Well, 2008.
Okay.
Really? Okay.
Actually,
I was 6. I thought it was 6.
It was 07.
It wasn't 6.
It was 07 because Votto never played in the pinstripes.
I didn't think so.
That's right. He didn't. Yep.
And
You're
he
right.
played
I know they had him in 06 because I've seen Bronson. Bronson came to the Reds in 06, and I saw, and he's pitched in the stripes. So and Aaron Orangutan. I miss that dude. That's a dude that I'd love to talk to. That big old horse.
Dude, I felt so bad for him because he pitched through all the shitty teams, and then we finally made the playoffs, and he didn't get on the playoff. I mean, he didn't deserve to get on the playoff.
So consistent, just a workhorse.
And I remember he had decent success after he left the Reds, which I was happy to see. He got the pitch in the playoffs for teams, and he had some success afterwards. So that was awesome to see.
So Rob here, backing me up with the red cap here. He said they should always wear the red cap with the white wishbone C and no shadow. But I buy that cap over and over again. Yeah, I like that one. I like I said, I like it having a home cap and a road cap because again, when I grew up, it was just that hat, and just those uniforms. I kept seeing people do other stuff, and I always wanted the Reds to do something different. So I like the solid red hat, and I like the red hat with the black bill. I like that because it's just a different hat. I like hats, so it's a different hat I could buy. And the one I really like is I got it over there. I wish I put it on. It's one I usually wear, but this is what I think would be cool if they would ever do this. Is put the Mr. Red's logo, not the C, but the Mr. Red logo on there. To me,
they did that in spring training or batting practice.
It was Mr. Red. It was a Mr. Red leg.
Okay, so that brings up that brings up my favorite Reds logo of all time. Okay,
all right.
And if you guys have seen this one, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the only time Mr. Redleg has actually ever been on the Reds pro team uniform for games. It was the road. It was 1956 or 1950. I think 56 or 57. It was, I think, Frank Robinson's rookie year. And it was Ted Kluszewski's last season or two with the Reds. But this is such a goofy logo. Actually, I've got a shirt right over here. I can show you guys. Oh, yeah, here it is. Tell me what is up with this. What is up with this Reds logo?
The teeth are horrifying.
Look at those teeth.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Those chiclets. I swear to God, it looks like – what
like
was
a vampire?
It's like a vampire. Yeah. This was on the uniform. This was so it was a gray, and it was just like right here. And what were they thinking? It's so funny, so goofy. But I think it's so funny that's in our history. So be careful what you wish for, Jeff. You might get that back on the
exactly. But yeah, the Mr. Redleg logo, that's always been my favorite. I like the wishbone C, but that one I wish they'd have more. Like I wouldn't mind if it's on here. Make that the road patch or something. I just think that would be cool because I don't know why, but that one I think is always. Is that Mr. Redleg, Mr. Red? That's the one I like. I've always liked that, and when I found that hat, I go get the hat, but it's way the hell over there.
So I'm gonna pop this up here real quick.
Yeah, we got.
If you can bring it, if you want to bring it up.
Yep.
Okay, so this is This is actually the Cincinnati Tigers from the Negro League, one of the Negro League franchises. I would love to see, and again, this was talked about when the Reds went to the black trim in '99. They talked about possibly doing navy blue instead of a black logo, and this is the hat that I would love to see this as a road jersey. I love the way that the white trim around the red pops. It just, to me, it looks absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
And again, you can keep the red socks. Like, it's, the Reds have had blue hats in their past, but I think something like this would just look amazing. It has a nice tie-in with the Negro Leagues and with the Reds, with their, wanting to stay with a more traditional look. I just think that would be killer.
That is cool.
Especially maybe as like an alternate or something,
Maybe.
But I agree with you. And then there's also it's an off-white wishbone red and then red right here. I think that's a nice cap too. I've seen it. I got a question for you guys.
What's up?
So what is a steaming hot take you got for this season? What is give me your worst.
Do you want I can be positive or I can be cynical?
I would love both.
But I have reason to back myself up on this. I think Jake Fraley is going to be an awful player for the Reds. His actual, and I like Jake. I love the fact that he looks like a fucking Viking.
Yeah.
Absolutely plays his ass off. And part of his numbers last year were mitigated that he tried to play through a broken toe.
Yeah.
But his exit, we'll go back to what we're talking about. Exit velocities were I think they actually were lower than TJ Friedel's average exit velocity. He can hit left-handed pitching. He's not a very good defender. He's a decent base runner, but he's a left-handed platoon outfielder. Willie is a better player, a more well-rounded player. I say this with as much love to Jake Fraley. It's awesome news to come out that his daughter sounds like his daughter's in remission, which is absolutely fucking fantastic. It's heartbreaking anytime you hear anything about anybody's kids.
Absolutely.
And so that absolutely just warmed my heart to hear, that she's in remission and doing well. But I just, as much as I love the guy, I don't think he's going to be any good coming up this next year.
So Joe wants Jake Fraley off the Reds.
Hashtag it. Joe Farfsing hates Drake Fraley.
Right. But it's a good question, though. Is there a position battle? Not even the Reds aren't really doing positions, but is there a roster battle between Benson and Fraley that no one's talking about? I think there is, Joe, because you're exactly right. They're both left-handers. They're both platooning. I mean, that's the same role. So, we'll see.
There are guys in the minors that are ready to take a spot, whether it's Blake Dunn or Hurtubise, and who knows what those guys are going to be. They're older prospects, but those guys have stuff.
Absolutely.
I think they're ready to step in, and I think one of those guys is superfluous.
I want to hear my hot take.
This
will be my hot take. Of course, mine's gonna be positive.
Yeah.
I think Willie B. Bad takes over. I think he improves upon what he does. He proves he can hit right-handed and left-handed batting. And
that's absolutely a possibility.
And I think he's got the confidence and he wants to prove it. And he's got all the tools to do it and take over. I don't necessarily know if he'll be the center fielder. I don't know if he's got that, but I could see that. But I think that he might be able to take over right field for sure. That's my hot take, that he has a breakout year, even better than last year.
A breakout year, which would be
there was times last year when he was hot, he was leading the team. Sorry, good.
I was just going to ask, do you think that Will Benson is going to be our offensive leader this season?
In terms of
just overall,
like the numbers, or in terms of just the kind of straw that stirs the drink?
I think more so numbers. I mean, let's say towards the end of the season, we look at the stat leaders. Will Benson's just clearing house.
I don't think so because of his platoon numbers, but I think he's going to have a really, really solid season. The guy hits the ball hard. He I'm not sure what his sprint speed is, but I think it was in the 90th percentile, if not higher. He just comes across as a solid player. He's always been this guy who takes walks, so he's going to get on base for you. I love the guy. I think he's really good.
Okay. I think it depends on if Bell gives him a shot. If Bell gets out of this platoon for him, and David Bell gives him a shot to play against left-handed batters or right-handed batters. That's the thing. It all depends. To me, it all depends on Bell because Bell is kind of stubborn. When you're a platoon player for Bell, you're a platoon player. He doesn't really. He does a little bit, but if you don't take advantage of that right away, then you're back. So to me, my hot take also depends on what Bell does with it. If he believes in him and thinks he can do it, gives him the shot to do it, yeah, there's a chance he could lead us in everything. I mean, he's got the tools to do it. He does. I mean, there's not. Again, I say Ellie's got all the tools. Willie B. Band's got all the tools too, man. I mean, he does.
In the comments, if anybody can tell us what team Will Benson came from, the first person to do that will win one of these.
Can I tell you?
Or how about who he was traded for?
Oh, that.
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
Ooh,
And
okay.
what round was he traded for? What round was the guy he was traded for traded in the year before?
Yes, and also what is his mother's middle name?
Right.
And if you can get all those things,
Eloise.
Joe will be the one confirming, not me or Ice over
All right.
here.
Eloise.
All right.
Cleveland.
So,
All right, who said it? Nat Iron, my guy.
there you go.
Congratulations.
There you go, Natty Ron.
Yes. Mason at Reds Daily is my email. Send me your address, your name, and that will card.
There you go.
Congratulations.
But I'm looking at Will Benson's Baseball Savant. But if you guys aren't looking at Baseball Savant, I get it's more for stat nerds. But there's just some awesome things to look at. You can look at the spin rate of the pitchers and everything. You look at hard hit rate. He didn't have enough plate appearances to qualify, but his sweet spot percentage in terms of like how often he's hitting the ball hard, like hitting the right spot of the bat, 40.5%, which is probably top 5 percentile. Chase rate 19.4. He's not chasing out of the strike zone. He gets screwed a lot because he's so damn tall. He got calls pitched below his
same thing
kneecap.
Ellie gets.
Ellie gets that too.
They
But
got this fucking
but
strike zone.
I trust Will Benson's eye so
Yes.
much more.
No, I
He
do.
has a Joey Votto eye. Like he will get down and he will follow that pitch all the way into the catcher's mitt. And if
That's
he's
why
there,
I'm saying he's got that chance to be that breakout dude. That's you know.
if he's
Wait,
been, I don't think he's going to get enough. Someone put in the comments 30-30 club. He's got the ability to. I just don't know if he's going to get enough at bats. And
what comes down to Bell.
But we talk about David Bell. It's not David Bell. It's David Bell. It's Jeff Pickler. Like the Reds have an entire staff. Like that's the analytics department. Like it's like that's why you have multiple guys. Like Bell's the guy that's pulling the levers.
Well,
but
either way,
it's the like people. I get frustrated how much people get on Bell for these, like how they handle the bullpen. Like it's not Bell. This is group thing. Like this is why Dusty Baker won a world title because he's not making these decisions. It's made in these analytical meetings. Like they have all these offensive game plan meetings. They have so many different specialized roles. This stuff is getting decided, and they're going down to him. So he needs to. We're going to get him out before he faces the batter's third time through the lineup because you see how much the offensive numbers spike. And yes, Augie, or whoever, Natty Ron, the Reds will lead the league in stolen bases. They did last year, and that's with the guys who got the most stolen bases not even coming up till a third of the way through the season.
Right.
Reds are going to lap the field. Diamondbacks were second, I think, because Corbin Carroll had a lot of stolen bases, but the Reds are going to absolutely lap the field. People talk about how Marte, he's not as athletic. Like he put on weight. He had 91st percentile sprint speed.
Yeah, dude.
Will Benson has 88th percentile sprint speed. McLean was in the 90s. Ellie is 99, or 100th percentile. Actually, he had the highest sprint speed, so literally top of the charts. Friedel is in the upper 80s or 90s himself. Like Reds are going to absolutely just run around the bases, and I'm here for it because it's now easier to run bases.
Run, Reds, run. All right, guys. We've been on for an hour and 8 minutes. I want to end it on this. And this is one that I've thought about myself all the time. Opening day projected lineup. Who do you think is going to be – what positions do you think to play and what's the batting order? Okay, Mason, what do you got?
Oh, yes,
Bam!
right
out there.
Hang me if I'm
no
wrong.
time to think about it. Nothing. Just go.
Hey, hands up. All right. Okay, who am I doing? I mean, okay.
Facing the Nationals, so who's there? Who are the Nationals going to throw? Is that Josiah Gray? Is he their ace? Trying to figure out arm side, what platoon split are they going to see?
He's a good bet.
It's probably Josiah Gray.
Sure, Senzel will be batting third against us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so real quick,
Patrick Corbin. There we go.
What's that?
Oh, they got
For
Patrick
Corbin, I mean, he at least makes the money. He'll get the opening day start. even
Oh
though he's
yeah.
not any
Oh
good.
yeah.
Yes.
I forgot they got him.
Absolutely.
Yep.
If he's
Yep.
there, yeah. Okay, so who would I put where? I'm big on base percentage higher in the lineup. And so, I mean, maybe Matt McClain a little bit higher. I would probably put him too. I think he's someone who gets on base and he's just so solid and reliable. Did Steer get some time at leadoff last year?
If he
Don't
did, it
know.
was
I
only a couple
can
games. I
look
think
real
he
quickly
did.
while you're going on. But
I don't remember.
Again, if he's got that higher percentage, plug him in. That's my thought process with it. So, but I am a little traditional. I want some power at 3 and 4. So I think CES is such a traditional, four spot. I would plug him in there. So I got Steer, McClain,
2 games.
Ellie. He was in the 2 spot. Okay.
Two games he led off.
2 games.
So Spencer did.
Hey, well, that's a big change this year then. Steer's going to be at leadoff. And then we got McClain. We've got Ellie De La Cruz at number 3 because he's having a career year. We posted our fan graphs, and it was like he had 62 home runs, 80-some stolen bases. It was funny, dude. We made that because, like, I hate the fan graphs projections this year, and everyone's just, like, railing against the Reds. So I was like, fuck it, I made it where it was, like, just ridiculous. I thought it was so ridiculous no one would take it seriously.
Are you talking about Steamer or are you talking about Zips?
Nothing. I just made them up.
I mean, like, which projections of fan graphs were you?
So MLB will post it on their Instagram. To be honest, I don't think they clarify even which one.
I think it's Steamer. I think they use Steamer because I got into an argument with Dan Zimborski because he's an arrogant prick, and I called him an arrogant prick.
No, not you.
Completely missed my point of what I was trying to say.
Well, either way, I just was mocking it. And, dude, the people on Instagram, I think, were, like, laughing. Oh, my God, this is ridiculous. But the people on Facebook were like, this is incredible. Like, Ellie's, they're like, guys, this is an MVP season. And everyone's like, guys, this is a historic, like, this is the top season ever.
Right.
But anyways, so I don't think that's going to happen. Just throwing that out there. But I do think Ellie is going to have a career year. I think he's got the potential to make Acuna look like not a scrub. I mean, no 40, 70 seasons a scrub, but I mean, you guys know that famous stat about Eric Davis over a 162 game period. Eric Davis had
damn near 50, 100.
Damn near 50.
It depends on which way you move the numbers.
Right.
It was 100 stolen bases and like 49 home runs, or you move the other one as like 52 home runs and 97 stolen bases, or something. Just something idiot, something stupid, like not realistic, made up.
Right. So, but you're saying it's possible. You know what I mean?
You're saying there's a chance.
You're saying there's a chance. And Eric Davis is the one who said it with his, he spoke with his performance. I'm saying if there's any player alive that has a chance to do something like that, it's Ellie De La Cruz.
Yeah.
And man, when was the last time we had some magic like that in Cincinnati? I mean, from the Red side, had to be Eric Davis, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's time, baby. So it's time for Ellie in the 3 spot. CES at 4. Go ahead and give me Benson at 5 because I think he's also going to take a great step. Luke Mailey is going to be a 300 hitter next year.
Local Luke.
So plug him in at 7 because he was hitting like 450 in spring training and Bell had no choice. And then who else we got? We'll plug Friedel in next. What is that?
No love for Candelario.
Hey, and then we're gonna end the lineup with some love at the bottom, so that they can go well into the next inning like they like to do. So yeah, we'll plug him in at 9.
All right, so I've got if Patrick Corbin's going, he's a left-hander, so I'm putting that in, and I'm putting in like platoon splits and everything like that. TJ Friedel, TJ Friedel hits lefties better, even though he's a lefty, so he's absolutely going to be leading off. Second, Matt McClain, diehard, Matty Bangs, Matt McBang, whatever the hell you want to call him.
Matty Bangs, baby.
That guy's just so damn good.
Need a shirt. Matty Bangs.
What a guy.
He's just awesome. Third, I have Candelario. Fourth, I have CES. Those guys, there's going to be 65 home runs. There's my hot take. 65 home runs between those two guys. I think Candelario hitting in Great American, his numbers, like he's never been a huge home run guy. I think his numbers are going to play up really, really high in this ballpark.
Right.
3, 4. So 5, I have Jonathan India. I think he's going to, we'll call him DH or first base, whatever, and Encarnacion straight in the other one. Ellie hitting 6, the guy, because it's a lefty and he struggles hardcore. Spencer at 7. 8. Where am I missing? I'm missing another outfielder.
You love Jake Fraley.
Marte. I completely spaced on
Marte.
Oh shit, me too.
Novi Marte. So move Marte. Actually, he'll probably hit 7th or 8th. I really think so. And then 9th, probably it's going to be Tyler Stevenson. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a Tyler Stevenson bounce back. It's last year's the outlier. I mean, yeah, he wasn't healthy 2 years ago, but he still hit well. Last year he was healthy and hit poorly, but his numbers trended back in the right direction towards the end of the year. And I'm looking for just, I mean, even if it's Ryan Hannigan just hitting doubles and getting on base and not being able to tap in to the power that someone who's 6'4", 225 should be able to tap into. Hopefully he can come back to be the guy that he was the last couple years and not the guy that we know that he's not going to be anymore.
I hope so.
All right, for mine, I got TJ leading off. Matty Bats hitting second. Ellie third. CES, DH, first base, right field, wherever you're putting him at. Candelario behind him, Marte. And then I got Steer. And I think Benson's going to have a breakout year, but I really like Benson in that 8 hole or that 7 hole. Just because of you get him in front of the catcher, everything. He's got that speed and all that stuff. And then Stevenson batting 8th. But I hate hitting really be that low, but I think he did better at that spot. And some guys just hit really good at one spot, and with all the talent we got here, that's where I'm at. But yeah, I think. But if you get the middle of the lineup, you got Ellie, CES, Marte, and Candelario, and then to Steer, I'm like, jeez, that's. I mean, I don't have Indy in there because I'm not playing him over these guys right now. I mean, maybe Jonathan India freaking proves you wrong, but that's where I'm at anyway.
Last thing for you guys. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
I was going to say, Will Benson's OPS in the 8 hole is 842. OPS in the 9th hole. That's where he hit most, was 889. 918 OPS out of the 9 spot.
That's why that's one of the reasons I'm keeping him there, because it seemed like they moved him up. He didn't hit as good. So
yeah.
Okay, my last question for you guys here.
Yo.
I think based on what I've seen with the people on Instagram, everyone is really interested in guessing what Ellie is going to have for home runs at the end of the season and stolen bases. And this is in this scenario, everything goes right. He plays 155 games. He's batting high in the lineup. He's getting the ABs. Where's he at? We know his potential, but just fucking shoot for it. What's he going to be at?
If everything goes right, his numbers total. Mm-hmm. What? All right, I'll go big. I think
let's go.
If he's consistent, and does everything that I think he can do, you're looking at 40 homers, 295 batting average, 115 RBIs.
Okay.
I would think.
I'm gonna make a graphic. I'm gonna make a graphic with all our picks too. So
that's everything. If he's consistent, because he can. If he's consistent. He can like he can mishit it and freaking hit it out of the park. And his speed, he hits it on the ground. He's going to beat so many hits out just because that's where the batting average comes from. So if he's consistent, sky's the limit.
Where'd you have him at stolen bases?
I didn't say that one. So many stolen bases. What did Acuna do last year? What was
it straight up 70 or 70 or 72 somewhere in there?
Honestly, I think he could break it. If he gets on base, he could break it. I am so high on Ellie. The sky's the limit. But he's got to be consistent. If he's not, and that's what it comes down to. He's got to get on base. You got to be consistent hitting wise. What's
your final total? How many stolen bases?
Acuna was 72. So I'll say 73. He beats him by 1.
Woo, let's go. Okay. How about you, John?
So the most fun thing about Ellie is that he struggled with pitch recognition and anything off speed. You saw us a handful of times. He'd get absolutely fooled on a changeup, be way the hell out in front, and be able to hold because his arms are like 11 feet long, and add another 32 inches to the bat, or however long the bat he uses.
Yeah.
He can keep that bat back so far, and he's hitting a missile 110 miles an hour off the bat on a changeup that he's fooled on low and away, and he's hitting into the gap for a double or a triple. If we're talking 95th percentile, I don't think his batting average is going to be real high still because he's still only 22 years old. So
that's where I think because he can get on base, because he can beat a lot of them out. That's where I think that brings that batting average up because that speed.
Maybe, but he's still going to strike out a good deal. Like even if he's he's trained off season with Juan Soto and Robbie Cano. I mean those are awesome guys to work with, especially Juan Soto knows a thing or two about taking a walk. We'll say 275 batting average. If he can get his on base percentage around 320, like that's absolutely just lights out. I'm gonna say 36 home runs.
Okay.
RBIs, screw RBIs. That's a team total. That's not a player total. We'll say 60. I'm not going to say 69 because I'm not that guy. 67.
Oh, yes, you are.
67 stolen bases. He's going to lead the majors in triples.
Woo!
Oh, okay, yeah. Let's go.
He was fifth in the league in triples, and he played what 90 games, 89.
Right.
Like, he didn't play.
I mean, we're talking MVP season. He will be the best player in baseball.
How many triples, Joe?
We will say 16.
Woo! That's hot.
Yeah.
All right.
Not
Ice,
as
how
many
many
doubles
triples?
because you don't hit a ton of doubles in Great American, so I'm not going to say a ton. I'm not going to say a ton of
home runs
doubles
instead.
Right.
I'll
go 13 triples.
Okay. All right. I'm going to give you guys mine too. All right. I'm just going to be ridiculous with it just to just go back.
Love it.
Just go back with the Facebook group. I mean, okay. So Aaron Judge hit 62 home runs the other year. What's his name? Giancarlo Stanton hit 59 not too long ago. This is Ellie De La Cruz has a season. He puts everything together, the potential that everyone knows he has. Okay. Ellie De La Cruz is a generational talent, and I think he is going to break the 50 home run mark this year. I think he's going to break George Foster's 52 home run mark, which is the team record. He did that in 79. Okay.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Let's go, dude. Hey, mark it down right now. Mark it down right now. This is going to be a season that no fan in Cincinnati ever forgets. Ellie De La Cruz is going to hit 53 home runs. Okay. Woo! 53 home runs. And he's going to steal 94 stolen bases.
Woo! 94
stolen bases.
Damn!
Let's
go.
It's a season we've never seen before. And it's happening.
I'm here for it, baby.
Unicorn.
I'm here for it.
It's a unicorn season. Let's fucking go.
Triples, 30. No, I'm just kidding. Let's do 17. So
there you go.
Okay.
That is awesome, dude. Guys, this has been so much fun. I love talking Reds, and I love talking with you two about the Reds because you guys are on it, and just your opinions and the energy you guys bring. I appreciate it. Joe, I'll let you go first. Plug some stuff. You're pretty good at plugging stuff, right? Go for it.
I can plug shit in without shocking myself all the damn time. I'm a pro at this shit.
That is shocking. That is shocking.
No,
that could have went so many different ways. I'm glad you went that direction.
I didn't go this way. For those of you that are listening to an audio feed, I did nothing. There was absolutely no gestures.
No, nothing. No.
It was a gang sign that I threw up. That's what it was.
Well, what?
No. RiverfrontCincy.com, YouTube.com, RiverfrontCincy. We just dropped the latest episode of the Bengals show this morning. Went on about unfortunate results of Super Bowl 58. Are the Chiefs a dynasty?
Why you gotta ruin the show now, Joe? You gotta talk about that. God.
You told me.
I know. Keep going. Whatever.
To pimp shit. So, are the Chiefs a dynasty? And then we went into Bengals talk. Then we went into Bengals talk because we're a Bengals show. Talking about what should the Bengals do? What will the Bengals do about T. Higgins? And then what are their positional priorities going into the offseason? So, fun show. Greg and me, we have fun. Watch it. Watch it now.
Watch it now. Well, not now. Wait till we get off. Then you can watch it.
Well, I mean, we're ending in 30 seconds.
I want all the views I can get, Joe. God,
you have the views. I'm not saying, don't turn in. They're already tuned in.
Hey, our fans, we need to have multiple screens up.
Yeah,
you guys got to be hitting the views on all
different
our
windows, man.
Yes, absolutely. Let's get these counts up.
Absolutely.
All right, Joe, brother. Appreciate it, man. Thanks, buddy.
See you guys.
See you, Joe.
All right, Mason. Hit me with something. What do you got?
All right. I'm going to do a quick screen present. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to directly plug it, all right?
All right, go for it.
Share screen.
If you can hit it up there, I'll click it as soon as it comes up.
Okay.
I'm waiting for a bit of breath. There it is.
All right.
Bam!
Guys, this is redsdealers.com, okay?
Put that up there.
Reds Dealers is a website. It's a marketplace. So you can go on here and buy and sell cards. You can buy and sell memorabilia, and it's all Reds. It's all Cincinnati Reds, okay? So whether that's some of these prospects that we're talking about, whether that's McClain, whether it's Ellie, whether it's this beautiful one of one Joey Votto, there's lots of really cool stuff. We're just getting it started, so log on, buy stuff, and if you're going to buy something, why don't you support Reds Daily directly and get this Ellie E44Y hat? We made this logo.
Those are nice.
Hey, thank you. And basically, we incorporated his number into his name. in a really cool way. And we've got our nickname for him, the Dread Prince himself, right there on the back. And so look at that AI generated model. Incredible.
Wait, why aren't you on the model? Like, hello, I'm Mason. How are you?
Hey man, we're trying to sell hats, not scare people here. So, that's
the Dread Prince. All right, I'm gonna have to start calling Ellie that. I like that one. The Dread Prince. That's cool. I saw the
Dread Prince.
The shirt you got of that. That's pretty cool too. So.
Ellie De La Cruz is the Dread Prince. The
Dread
other teams
Prince.
dread him, and the dude's got the coolest dreads in the major leagues.
The Dread Prince, Ellie De La Cruz, the most electrifying man in baseball.
The most beautiful, the greatest player we've seen in some time.
Oh, dude, seriously. We were talking about Ellie. I'm like getting fired up, like, dude, because I'm trying to hold myself back because I think he can actually. I'm expecting him to do that this year, and if he does, dude, we're winning this whole damn thing. I'll tell you that right now. We're doing it.
Let's go.
Hey, Natty Ron likes the name. There you go.
All right, Dread Prince. Get you a hat, Natty Ron.
Exactly. All right, Mason, appreciate you. Hey, you come back on tomorrow. We're gonna have Buck Farmer on tomorrow, so we can do some more cool stuff, and we'll tell Buck about the nickname too, so maybe he can start calling him that.
Dread Prince, baby. Hey, it's happening. All right, guys. Have a good day. Appreciate you.
Take it easy. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I'm fired up for baseball season. It is started. It's not around the corner. It's here. Reds are here. Training camp, spring training is happening. I think they start playing games next week. I'm like, dude, I'm so ready for this. And I'm like, just the thoughts of what this team can actually do is awesome. So, anyway, this is a long show. Been on for almost an hour and a half. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. If you have watching it, do me a favor. Share it out to everybody as many as you can. I appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the subscription buttons. Tell everybody about Sports Strawberries. Tell everybody about Reds Daily. Tell everybody about the Riverfront. Check these shows out. I appreciate it. Live streaming on ZTV Online, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Rumble. I think we're on Instagram. It only let us go for an hour, and it cut off on Instagram. So I don't know if we're on there or not, but we're working on trying to get everything on Instagram. If you're listening on the podcast, what's up? Thanks for checking out. It's on BeanPod, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcasts. Please make sure you rate, like, and review. You guys can also follow me on all of those, along with Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. And shout out to my sponsors. I appreciate all these guys. Go check out Midwest Best Barbecue. They are delicious, great family. Go check them out. Get some of the wings. Get some of the pulled pork sandwiches. They're awesome. Like I said, we got Jackpot Joey. Make sure you guys buy some of that stuff. And remember, portion proceed go to the Joe Burrow Foundation, T Properties, for all your rental property management needs. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. Check me out tomorrow. I got Reds relief pitcher Buck Farmer on. It's going to be a good show. We're going to save 3 guys on with Buck. We're going to have a fun, I used to say a fun football Friday show. I think it's going to be a fun baseball Friday show. Other than that, you guys ready? Throw it up. That's your sports, baby. See ya!